On Saturday, the Tennessee Titans shocked a lot of people. They were the 6th overall seed in the NFL playoffs. Overall, not 6th overall, so that's not how that works, but they were the 6th seed in the NFL playoffs. And they beat the Ravens in Baltimore 28-12. Now, we need to clarify some things because there is a lot of nonsense being said about this game. There are two big narratives that are not true, and I want to set the record straight and explain what really happened. So first, I want to talk about this. Number one, this narrative is absolutely not true. People keep telling me after this game happened and the days following, people keep sending me messages saying, told you, Lamar Jackson sucks. Lamar Jackson can't throw the ball, blah, 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 blah. And either those people are idiots, and maybe people are idiots and don't understand how playing quarterback works. But more likely, people just look at the numbers. They're fantasy football fans. They just focus on the statistics and the box score rather than actually watching the game. So let's talk about the numbers. Lamar Jackson was 31 for 59 passing. He had 365 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. He also ran 20 times for 143 yards. And Lamar had 2 interceptions. And one of them was his fault. In the second half of the game, Lamar Jackson threw an interception. He was throwing an out route to the left, and he threw it about 6 inches too far inside. He left it inside just a little bit. It would have been behind the receiver a tad bit. And that allowed the defender to step in front of it, make a play, and have an interception. That interception's on Lamar Jackson. He didn't miss the throw by much. He missed the throw by just a couple inches, but that miss matters. It allowed a defender to make a play. Now, his other interception was actually on the fault of the receiver. Fault of actually his tight end, Mark Andrews. He threw to his tight end over the middle. It was a catchable pass early in the beginning of the game. It might have been a tad high, like 6 inches higher than it should have been, but it was very catchable. It bounced off of his hands, popped up in the air, it got intercepted, and people just pile on to Lamar Jackson. It's like they don't pay any attention. That interception was not Lamar Jackson's fault. If you look at the numbers, you see 2 interceptions, but the truth is, should have just been 1. The first one wasn't his fault. And then people also forget to look at, how about the fact that the Ravens had 6 dropped passes against the Titans? Awful. Lamar Jackson's receivers let him down over and over and over again in key moments. And he threw some dimes. There was a perfect out route early in the game against really tight man coverage. Lamar Jackson was perfectly on point. It's a highly accurate throw. And then there was a long ball to Hollywood Brown down the middle of the field right before halftime, perfectly in stride. Look, I'm not saying Lamar Jackson is a perfect thrower of the football. There were some moments where he threw some ducks, and I went, Lamar, what's going on? I don't understand. Like, there are moments from Lamar Jackson I went, you're not throwing a very tight spiral right now. I don't understand. But to say he can't throw the ball and he's a terrible quarterback throwing, it's just wrong. It's wrong. It's stupid. It's just dumb. I mean, people who say that are just completely wrong. Now, the quarterback in me, I love quarterbacks. I'm a quarterback analyst, and I watched Lamar Jackson on Saturday and thought, man, this dude is running around a lot behind the line of scrimmage. I went, the way Lamar Jackson is extending plays and running around a bunch, it makes me uncomfortable. And my first instinct was to think, come on, Lamar, get rid of the ball. Stop holding on to it. Stop running around so much. But then you got to think about this perspective. If you're a Ravens coach, if you're Lamar Jackson's quarterback coach, and Lamar Jackson is running around a ton behind the line of scrimmage, you actually don't want to speak up. You don't want to limit his ability to run around behind the line of scrimmage. You can't tell Lamar Jackson, of all people, not to run around and not to extend plays. The minute you try to put handcuffs on Lamar, the minute you try to limit Lamar Jackson's ability to be himself, you really hurt him. Lamar Jackson is an artist. You got to back up. You got to get out of the way. You got to let the guy do what he does best. And what he does best is create yards running the football. Now, here's the real crime by the Baltimore Ravens. The real thing they did wrong is that the Ravens receivers gave up in key downs. I mean, Lamar Jackson's running around behind the line of scrimmage trying to keep a play alive. The Ravens receivers downfield stopped running around, stopped trying to get open. They gave up on the play. Lamar Jackson's job, it's called a scramble drill. In a scramble drill, things break down, the quarterback runs around, and the receivers downfield have to keep moving into open grass and open space to try to keep a play alive. I watched multiple times where Lamar Jackson would scramble and extend a play, and the Ravens receivers downfield had their feet stopped and were just watching Lamar Jackson run around rather than continuing to run the green grass and getting open to give Lamar Jackson a spot to throw the football to. A lot of the times where Lamar Jackson got in trouble behind the line of scrimmage, it wasn't actually his fault. It was on the receivers who weren't running around, running to green grass, trying to get open. They let the play die. They give up on the play and just began to be really observers of the play, waiting to see Lamar Jackson do something crazy, rather than trying to get open and help him have a spot to throw the ball downfield. Some of those plays were actually on his receivers for not running around enough. Now, another false narrative about this game is that Titans running back Derrick Henry did all the work on offense for the Tennessee Titans. Again, people need to stop looking at just the stats and stop looking at just the numbers. If you look on paper, you'll see, wow, Derrick Henry ran the ball 30 times for 195 yards rushing. Unbelievable. And then you look at the Titans quarterback Ryan Tannehill and you say, well, he was only 7 for 14 passing. He had 88 yards. That's basically nothing. So he had 7 completions for 88 yards. But then you realize, okay, if you just look at the numbers, yeah, Ryan Tannehill is not that impressive. But if you watch the game and you look at Ryan Tannehill in key moments, you realize basically every time Ryan Tannehill did anything, it had a gigantic impact on the Titans' chances to win the game. He made so many little, small, unappreciated key plays. First of all, he had 2 touchdown passes. I don't know how you say he had 3 touchdowns on the day. I don't know how you tell a guy who has 3 touchdowns they're useless and don't have an impact on the game. That's just wrong and stupid. But Ryan Tannehill was phenomenal on 3rd down. Early in the game on 3rd and 2, Ryan Tannehill ran for a first down that kept the drive alive, and it ultimately led to a Titans touchdown. Also, that touchdown came on 3rd and goal. 3rd down. Ryan Tannehill, phenomenal. He also had a 45-yard touchdown pass against the Ravens man coverage. The Ravens defense said, hey, we're going to take away the run. Ryan Tannehill, we are daring you to beat our man coverage. We're going to say, hey, Ryan Tannehill, you can't beat us. And then he did. Then Ryan Tannehill did beat them. When the Titans were driving, it was a key 3rd and 6. He made a great decision, made a great throw. That throw led to a first down. And then later on that same drive on 3rd and goal, the Tennessee Titans ran a speed option where Ryan Tannehill had the option to pitch the ball to Derrick Henry. He faked the pitch. He kept it himself, burrowed in, got a touchdown for the Tennessee Titans. That was Ryan Tannehill's 3rd touchdown on the day. Derrick Henry gets all the love, but nobody talks about how many key plays Ryan Tannehill makes. He had 7 completions. He didn't run the ball that much, but every time he did run, every time he did throw, it was on 3rd down. It was in a key moment for the Titans. He made key play after key play. He is the real story. The real story behind the Ravens losing to the Tennessee Titans is not that, yes, Derrick Henry, the running back of the Titans, had a ton of yards. He was the workhorse. He was phenomenal. But on 3rd downs, in key situations, Ryan Tannehill, the Titans quarterback, made really good throws and ran the ball really well. Executed, and that led to first downs for the Titans, keeping drives alive and scoring touchdowns. Lamar Jackson doesn't suck. He can throw the ball really well. People are just dumb. They don't watch the game. And Ryan Tannehill is not nobody. Ryan Tannehill made a ton of key plays on Saturday that allowed the Titans to beat the Ravens. I do have one other thing. I haven't talked enough about Derrick Henry. There's this one thing. I was talking to my dad about Derrick Henry, and I would say that Derrick Henry is kind of like the Russell Wilson of running back. So what does that mean? Derrick Henry is so good at turning a bad situation into a positive gain. You know, Russell Wilson, or the Seahawks quarterback, will take a 3-yard loss, run around, extend a play, throw the ball downfield, and make it a 15-yard gain. What would have been a sack for most quarterbacks becomes a gigantic gain for Russell Wilson. Derrick Henry is the exact same way, where he'll get met in the backfield, and instead of getting tackled and losing 2 yards, he'll break a tackle, run through a guy, keep the play going, and actually run for 8 yards. He'll turn a 2-yard loss into an 8-yard run by breaking tackles, lowering his shoulder, doing what he does best. I'm so excited to watch Derrick Henry on Sunday. against the Kansas City Chiefs. I have no idea how the Chiefs are going to try to stop him. I would load the box. I'd say, Ryan Tannehill, you're going to have to beat us today. But is that even possible? Because even if you do that, even if you load the box and on paper you have everybody you need to stop Derrick Henry, he can still run over guys. He can still run through tackles and turn a negative loss into a positive gain. And so I'm so excited to watch Derrick Henry on Sunday. He's the best running back in the NFL right now. And it's not just the way he does this or that. It's the way that he turns a negative play into positive gains.